Hey guys, it's RebeccaOberstadt. In today's video, I'm actually doing a first impression of a palette that I have wanted for at least 2 years. I do not watch the YouTuber this palette is collabed with because I have a very hard time understanding her, so I don't watch her. But it's been on several wish lists over the years. When I have done wish list videos, I've wanted it for a while, and I thought it was much bigger than it currently is. And I'm like, everybody's talking about how big this palette is. I'm like, that's not a big palette, okay? Or at least not in my opinion. So today I'm doing a first impressions of the So Jaded palette from Colourpop. This is the Kathleen Lights collab, and I thought this was the same size of, where did I put it? Everybody was talking about how big it was, and they're like, oh, it's a huge palette. And I was hearing people compare it to how big the Jaclyn Hill palette was. Here it is next to the Jaclyn Hill palette. So there's a good inch here and a couple of inches here, which technically is one entire row of shades more than the So Jaded palette has. So I had wanted this for a while. I held off on it because I really do not like pressed glitters, and this has at least 2 that I can visibly see. So Topaz and Opal are both pressed glitters, but the rest of the palette doesn't have those, and I probably could just easily swap them out if I wanted to. I have used 2 shades out of here. Yes, 2 shades out of here for a holiday look that I filmed yesterday. And I'm filming this on January 1st, so happy New Year's. So I'm going to be doing a neutral look with this and a colorful look with this. And I also have this palette I got at the same time, the Wine and Only. Oh, and of course, 3 days later, their palettes went to 50% off. So paid full price for both of these, but you know, it is what it is. I needed these colors to use for the holiday looks, and I have used 4 of the shades out of here, but I will be doing a first impression or first-ish impression for both palettes, so look for that to come. I have nothing on my face, no blush, no lipstick, no chapstick, no nothing. Getting my stuff out. So for the first look, and I'm going to be using the Wine and Only for a mirror, I think because I have literally used only these 2 shades out of here, I'm going to go into Rose Quartz, which looks like a mauve shade. And there's quite a bit of kick up in the pan. And this is a Sigma E38. This came in a brush set that I won from Samantha March, and I'm probably going to do very minimal makeup. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to go back to my computer to play WoW with my dad. So I might do some blush, bronzer, and highlight. My battery died, so I'll probably end up doing like minimal face makeup, but no concealer or brows or anything like that. Nothing special. This is like a rosy beige color, so not quite mauve like I was expecting. Definitely darker than Rose Quartz, but you know. It seems to blend out super easily. Okay, I think I want to go into this Jasper shade, which is a little bit darker than the Rose Quartz shade, which is down here. Maybe I'm just not picking up enough. Okay, let me color switch my brush. And I'm going to pick up my little Visante brush. It's not a whole lot darker. It's darker, but not a whole lot. If you need like a nice shade to blend out or to deepen just ever so lightly, this shade would be nice for that. And there's a lot more kick up in this shade than there was in the first one. I have a bigger mess in the pan. And this is a super soft brush. I don't know why. Unless it's just a softer shade. Every time I tried to buy this palette, it was out of stock, or every time I got money to, or you know, every time it came back in stock, I didn't have the money, and every time I had the money, it was out of stock. So I was like, crap. So I started putting money aside to buy it, and then it was out of stock for like months. And of course, you know, the lovely 2020 virus. I'm gonna just use my finger to pick up the kick up in the pan, just kind of put it on my eye so it doesn't go running around the palette. That is a messy shade. All right, now I think I'm gonna do a couple of shimmers, maybe one. All right, I'm gonna go into Smoky Quartz, which is down here. This is a little Wet n Wild brush that's like a crease brush or something like that. It's like a, one of them says crease and the other one I think says concealer. They're like 83-cent brushes. Oh, that's nice. The brown in the eyeshadow that's already on my lid is pulling the brown out in the shadow. I thought it was going to be a little bit more like silvery looking, which I'm kind of glad it's not. Whoa, that turned really metallic real quick. I bet you this would be a really pretty highlight shade on like tan skin tones. Super quick, super simple. I think this will definitely work for like work appropriate stuff. All right, now I'm gonna go ahead and go into the other side. That sapphire shade is like super common to me, so I'm just gonna go balls to the wall bold. I'm gonna go right into this shade with that Basanti brush, and I'm gonna load it up. And that one has a lot of kick up as well, like all over the edge of the palette. And then in order to get that to stay in, I'm gonna top my brush with it facing up. I'm being real hesitant with it. I'm sure if I used a different brush, like a packer brush or a shader brush, that this would go on a lot richer. But I'm being real careful with it. All right, I'm gonna go into this ametrine shade that looks like it's a mauve with the glitter in it, silver glitter. I'm gonna buff that in the front. It's like, I bought 2 matte singles when I bought this, and both of them had glitter in it. Why would you name it matte if it has those glitter particles in it? I don't know why they do that. I mean, the glitter didn't really bother me, but I think it's kind of dumb. I'm looking for a completely matte shade and then they throw sparkly stuff in it, which makes it, in my opinion, not matte. And I'm just blending it up into that blue. All right, I think over the outer edge, I'm gonna use the Alexandrite shade, and then on the inner corner, I'm gonna use Fluorite, but I'm gonna start with Fluorite up here first, and then I'll work into the darker shade. It's like a very light silvery purple shade. Hello? It's a very sheer silvery purple shade. I think if my brush was wet, it would work better. So we'll just use my finger. It's got like a green shift to it, and then now I'm gonna grab that ametrine or Alexandrite shade. And Fluorite is actually 3 colors. It's purple, it's green, and it's clear. So the fact that it shifts green or has like a green shift to it, that makes sense that it looks purple, but it's shifting green. Especially rainbow fluorite. Rainbow fluorite, you can get a piece of stone that starts off purple and then it's variegated. It goes from purple to green to clear, or sometimes it's purple, clear, and then green. But usually it's the other way around. A little bit of fallout on my face, not a whole lot. So if you're going to use the shimmery shades in here, I'd say definitely do your eyes first. So we have a blue and purple eye and a neutral eye over here. This one looks weird, like it's not blended up here, but maybe if I take, is it Royal Jewels? It's like, it's this one here. This one. I'm gonna try and blend up above that just a little bit. This is a smoky look anyways, but it looks a little unblended up here. It's a little better, but it's a smoky look, so. All right, I think I'm gonna do, oh, and I bought this. I don't care for it. It stinks. It's the Just a Tint in the shade Shaka or Shaka. It stinks. It makes me nauseous. But it's a really nice neutral shade. The smell of it is, it's like, I'll have to leave it down below. It's like passion fruit or something like that. Or papaya, guava, mango. One of those island fruits. And the smell of it, just doing, I get it in my mouth and I'm like, and I'm not doing any waterline liner today because of the fact that yesterday, the eye look that I did, I think I had some of that glitter highlighter shade off my lid fall into my eye, and this eye has been bugging me ever since. So we're not gonna do that today. And I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna use this Violet Voss Single Shadow Pretty in Pink as a highlighter. And it does have an itty bitty mirror in it, even though I still have the protector thing on it. And this is a really dense brush. I think this is a foundation brush from Farrah. 20 FF Straight is what it's called. I've tried it for like concealer and stuff, and it's soft enough, but trying to like poke underneath your eyes to blend stuff out, it's a little too rough. And it's synthetic, so it washes up super easy. But if you have a highlight that you want to really shine, use that. And then my Chiclet blush. I really like both of the looks, actually. I think they turned out really well. This is the Samantha March collab. And this is a SO Miss Glam P40 brush. I mean, I'm not going anywhere, so I technically don't need to do all of this, but see, even that just looks nice with just the blush and the highlight. And then this is the River bronzer. I forgot I didn't take the little plastic thing off, so I'll use the mirror under the camera. And that's it, that's the face. First impressions, that blue shade, again, it looks a little patchy. I'm sure if I had used a different brush, maybe it wouldn't have been. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna grab another Sigma brush. This is an E54. Pick up a little bit of that. I just want to see. If working with a different type of brush would help blend that out a little easier. It looks a little bit more blended. I'm gonna go ahead and grab that Ametrine shade too and do that to the other side. I think that's what it was, because I was using a fluffy, like, blending kind of brush that it just didn't want to put enough product on and then blend it out in order for it to look more blended. It just wanted to look a little patchy, and I didn't care for that. That's a little better. So just using a little, like, denser shader brush seemed to help than using a more fluffy brush on it. So far out of here, I used these two shades yesterday. I used this one for, like, to make my lid like a matte shade, and then I used this for like the specialty cut crease that I did. So this one here is like a super shock. I had to use my finger in order to get it to apply, because sticking a brush in it was a no-go no matter what type of brush I used. So I know that one's like a special shade. I used Ametrine on this side. I think it would be more opaque if I used either my finger or a brush. The Smoky Quartz shade is really, really pretty. I like that. The Rose Quartz shade looks like a really nice neutral rose shade, but it's like a beige with a hint of pink. And then the Jasper shade looks like it would be a lot darker. I mean, it is darker, but it's not as dark as the rose. It's not a big contrast between the Rose Quartz shade and Jasper. The Sapphire shade, which is like these two right here, were like, for me, it did look a little patchy until I tried a different type of brush, and then it worked fine, which is kind of what I expected anyways. The Royal Jewels I used up here to help, you know, blend out anything that looked patchy, and it seemed to work fine. The Ametrine shade, I really don't care for the matte shades with the glitter in it, because the glitter just disappears anyways. It literally, you can blow it off the eyeshadow. I don't like that. The Fluorite shade is more like a topper, so it's very, very sheer, but it gave a nice wash of color over my lid to kind of tie the Ametrine shade in that I used above it. So that's really pretty. And I love working with gemstones, period. Like, that's what I do, is I'm a beader. I work with natural stones, precious stones, semi-precious stones that are made out of these stones to do jewelry work. So I was excited to see it. I've wanted it for a long time. So out of this palette, I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shades total. Out of, what do you have, 30 something? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 5 times 6 is 30. There are 30 shadows in here. So anyways, I've got lots to do with this palette. I might try and do something like quadrant style, where I use like these 4 shades or these 4 shades, or, you know, that shade really doesn't seem to go with that color story, but I could probably get away with this quad here with these like orangey shades, the mustard shade, and that peridot shade, which, by the way, peridot is like a light lime green, which is, you know, this is more yellow, but what might look different on the eye. I could probably try and stick with like quadrants and do looks. Even this up here with the garnet and the ametrine, moonstone, and fluorite, I think that would be a really pretty like berry neutral look. So I could do something like that. Let me know what you guys want me to do with this palette look wise. If you want like 2 looks 1 palette, 4 looks 1 palette, multiple looks 1 palette, where I do like 10 different looks and it's like an hour long, or do you want me to split them up and do like colors that grab me and do 2 looks with those, and then do like quadrant kind of things where I stick with 4 shades and do looks on either eye with 4 specific shades? I could do that. We could try doing like the whole row thing, but this, you know, some of these rows don't quite match. This row wouldn't be bad. That row wouldn't be too bad, neither would that one, but this first row would be a little weird. And the other ones, I think I could do them by row. I could even do them like by row this way. Again, this row would be strange if I did that. And the other ones would be fine. So I could either do them up and down or side to side. Let me know what you guys want with this. I will also be doing a first impression soon with this, because I just got this like Friday. So, oh, and I have the 2 single shadows are in here. Oh, no, that's the Fade into Hue palette. I have 2 more looks to do with this one in my 4 looks. So I have 2 rows left to use out of here. I've done a first impression and I've done 2 looks so far with it besides that. And I've used it for holiday looks. Where's the other palette? There you are. Come here. Yes, you. All right, and then I have some Jaded glow shadows in here. I haven't used these 3 yet, and then these are the 2 new ones from Colourpop that I haven't really used. So, yeah, lots of new stuff to try and test out and play with and stuff like that. So I will have some new makeup-ish looks coming. And I have, I asked if you guys wanted me to do looks with the 5 holiday looks that I couldn't do because I didn't have like these kind of colors. And somebody said yes, and my friend Jason said yes. So I've already got 2 filmed out of the 5. And I don't know when I'm gonna put them up, but I'm doing like the wintry ones first, and then one of them can be modified for like Valentine's Day. So I'm gonna try and do something like that, where I take a Christmas look and modify it for Valentine's Day, because by the time I get it edited and up, it's gonna be at least February, because I have enough videos to last until like the middle of January. So I'm all caught up. And I have a lot to edit right now on this card. So anyways, I'm Rebecca Oberstadt. Let me know what you think of the looks down below and some of the other things that I've discussed here at the end. And I will see you guys at, well, the next video that I post. And I will see you guys later. Happy New Year's, and hopefully you all had a safe one. And let's try and leave 2020 in hindsight. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.